shit girls, messing up with children. Yeah, man, we have to stop that. We have to go back to a normal society, not an insane reality. It's about identity, gender, entitlement, discrimination, and equal treatment.
Okay, so we are here with Ad Verdiesen, and we're doing the interview today. So, Ad, from what I understand, you're a big fan of postmodernism.
Yeah, cultural postmodernism.
Cultural postmodernism.
I'm against it.
Okay, and how would you define cultural postmodernism for our viewers?
Well, I'm in 3 words. It's about feminism, pseudological feminism, atheism, and genderism.
Okay.
Homosexuality and such.
So, it sounds to me like what you refer to as postmodernism is what I would call cultural Marxism.
Yeah, except postmodernism is after World War II.
Okay.
And it's in the West.
Well, that's where we consider cultural Marxism to be too. And from what I understand of cultural Marxism, that started up or at least the idea started up in the Frankfurt School, I believe. And
yeah, but earlier in the mid-19th century already.
Yeah.
But Frankfurt School indeed did a lot about it. As I understand, I am not very good in all these things. So I remember when I was young, my father told me that postmodernism was something which denied the truth. And I remembered it a few years ago. So since then, I'm talking about it like that.
I see.
And I didn't even know there was postmodernism in college or in culture or whatever. No. I made my own story about it.
Yes, it's become a lot more readily apparent everywhere that you look.
Yeah, everywhere indeed.
So, I've heard you use the term pseudological lies. And,
yeah, that's essential. Yeah.
How would you define that for us?
Like fake news.
like propaganda.
Yeah, as if you may. Yeah.
Okay, all right.
But meanwhile, they're brainwashed, and well, they don't know and they don't want to hear, and they just passive aggressive, like those demon rats yesterday or this morning. Yeah. But for me, it's yesterday now.
Yeah, well, we're living it every day, man.
Yep.
So, another term that I've heard you talk about before, but I'm not sure exactly what you mean by it, is defathering. Could you explain that for us?
Defathering, yeah. I always wonder why it's not obvious for Americans in English, because the word itself is very clear, but you can, for instance, divorce, but also 2 mothers, and there's also demothering with 2 fathers or divorce. But it's also the idea that fathers are obsolete, which feminism clearly try to achieve.
Okay, so what you're saying is it's essentially the cultural assault of the traditional family.
Yeah, indeed. It's against natural law. It's against um, family life. It's against the idea of pursuing happiness and developing human well-being. So it's against the interpretation of the Constitution, for instance, and it's against human rights. And that's why it is as if humane. They're fake humans, they are zombie-ized.
Yeah, it's kind of, what I'm getting out of it is it's kind of a perversion of the natural order of things.
Yeah, and they started to do this a long time, and it started with the pill. I always say it started with the pill, birth control pill. But it also started by human rights, which are flawed. But in the mid-90s, that's also essential. They changed the definition of family into households with children. That was the civil rights changed it in households with children. So it opened the way for gay marriage, for mass divorce, and indeed what you're saying, destroying the natural family. Yeah. You call it traditional, but I'd rather call it natural family.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think we mean pretty much the same thing by traditional and natural family.
I think traditional is more system-like, and natural is whatever country, whatever group, or it's just natural family life is the basis of humanity.
Yeah.
But it's also the basis of society. So that's more traditional family done, and when you're talking, it's like I'm seeing it, it's more a natural family.
Oh yeah, and we could talk about how the degradation of families has negatively impacted society. I'm about almost going to be 26 here, and growing up, I was one of the few kids in my city that came from a family that was still together, and one that the parents weren't split up or whatever the case may be. So I was kind of lucky in that regard, because most of my friends had split families.
Yeah. Yeah, and defathering is one of the biggest issues with all kinds of consequences.
Yeah, and it's in this country, it seems to be were you pouring yourself a drink there?
Yeah.
What are you drinking?
I'm drinking, it's called Vieux.
Oh, okay.
And it's 35% alcohol drink, and I mix it with cola. Cola Light.
There you go. Yeah, I should have got some beer before this, but I didn't. That's on me. All right.
That's okay.
So, I'm going to ask you some personal questions here, just so our viewers know. About how old are you and what country are you from?
My age is 60 and a half, and I have a Dutch passport. I reside in the Netherlands.
Okay.
I have 2 children. They are almost 22 and 24. Divorce started 17 years ago. The ex-wife died 4.5 years ago. And now my children don't want to see me forever anymore. So it's been almost 7 years they were at my home, at the father's home. I missed their puberty, and I missed going to study and finishing high school and all those things. I missed everything. Their friends, boyfriends, or maybe they're lesbian. I don't know where they live. I don't have their phone number. I don't have their email. I've broken with all my brothers and sisters because of this and also other things. So I don't have contact with anyone else who could help me, and they don't want to help me. So I'm just waiting. And at the other side, I don't mind going that. So that's a bit my life, day after day.
Okay.
And I've been fighting for 14 years, also for everyone, not only for my own children and me, but also for everyone. I leaded a group, and we protested very much. Spoke with all kinds of experts and politicians, and you can name it, and we've spoken with them. So I also did that. And now I'm 60 and a half, and my health is very bad. I became an alcoholic after the ex and wife died. Yeah, that's a bit, in a few words, saying something about me.
Okay. And why do you think all of that came about? Do you think that maybe postmodernism had something to do with it, or?
Well, it was a development. I needed to understand what happened. Why I was shocked because the ex and wife wanted to divorce and totally ruined me out. She went crazy, you know. I didn't know what happened. It was an emotional roller coaster for me the first years. And I had heart problems, and I didn't know. And next shock was the system, and all those institutes, and how everybody thought, and like childcare and child protection, what their mindsets are. And so I started reading things. So I developed, I connected the dots, and I developed my view on what's happened, and that's how I came to, what I say, postmodern feminism and identity politics and sexualization, which are destroying the world.
Well, it seems we've had a somewhat similar journey. I mean, I never had a family of my own, or was never married or divorced, but it was through life experiences that I had begun to connect the dots on things that were going on in society. So I can understand where you're coming from.
It had to do with girlfriends? What did you experience? Yeah, you're the interviewer.
Yes, I'm the interviewer. Girlfriends and friends, and just how things today seem to be so much different than what I imagined them to be in the past. You know?
Yeah, and you were the only one in an intact family.
Yes. So, I mean, my parents fought like hell, but they, were always there for each other. They always supported each other, and that's just
great, man, great.
Yeah.
It's not all pies and peas.
Yeah, and I've got a great father and a great mother, and I'm very thankful to have that.
Yeah, love is above all that.
Yes, and
I reckon you got the same thing as me. Love of life is what drives you.
Yeah, you gotta live. You gotta try to enjoy yourself. You gotta pursue your goals and that sort of thing. And
Yeah, but like I already said, pursuing happiness should be in a healthy setting. When you're Frankfurt School, it's kind of brainwashing. So your mindset is not healthy. You came from a healthy family. Yeah?
Yes.
And then pursuing happiness in developing human well-being is in the context of a healthy family and a healthy society.
Oh, I totally agree.
So just pursuing that you're happy and you're doing good and getting a job and whatever, doing your study, it's not enough. It should be in a healthy setting, with a healthy mindset.
Yeah, and well, part of it is you got to kind of create your own happiness. You got to find what makes you tick. I seem to think, you find what you like, and hopefully you make some friends along the way. But
yeah, it is not all about the American dream, indeed. You just find a way. And, yeah.
well, yeah, the American dream has kind of cheated a lot of people, and because not everybody reaches their dreams or fulfills their potential.
Yeah, or even have dreams, or even have very much potential. Or,
Mm-hmm.
you know.
Well, it was. I'm going to bring up one of my father's quotes. I remember him saying is that, how did it go? His quote was that the dreamer always outlives the dream, which I found to be pretty accurate.
Dreamer always outlives the dream.
Yes, the dream dies before the dreamer.
Oh yes, of course. And when the dream has been fulfilled, there is no dreamer anymore. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Yeah.
All right. So.
It's kind of philosophical.
Yeah, I like to philosophize.
Yeah, I hate them, but I like the idea people philosophing in common sense, with a healthy body and a healthy mind.
Yes.
But philosophers, well,
there's
I think all philosophers are frustrated, so they're not healthy.
Well, I'd say that they have questions and they're pursuing answers, and there's many different schools of thought to different forms of philosophy, and
yeah, and different issues also, indeed. So, I'm saying it in general. It's not. Maybe there are some philosophers which are not being thrived by their frustrations or something.
Yeah.
Maybe like Spinoza.
What was that?
Yeah. I don't know much about it, so.
Okay.
But I have an opinion about that. It's like Muslims. I have an opinion about that, but I don't know much about it, so.
Well, that's a good stance to take, because if you don't know much about something and somebody else does, you're better off keeping your mouth shut and listening. You might learn something. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that it makes sense, that your opinion makes sense. But it's. I'm only trying to say I should, for instance, Islam. I should study it for 10 years before I could make. I think I could make some really choices. But I think my nowadays opinion is making sense.
Yeah, your life view is starting to come together.
Yeah. I don't trust them. So that's in essence what my feeling is. So, for instance, Palestinians. Oh, they are obvious bigots. And you know why? Because I think Palestine is the promised land. And the promised land is meant for the Jews. So what did the Arabs? They hijacked the word Palestine.
Okay.
I think it hurts Jews, you know? And that's how borderliners, they behave as if smart, as if reasonable. And that's the same as the pseudological lies. It's as if smart, as if reasonable, that you're being forced to respect it and to tolerate it. But now you see those Democrats, they can't tolerate that Trump has won.
Yeah.
They're in shock.
They're very intolerant of anything that they disagree with.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But next, I have also something to say about Democrats.
Okay.
Because I think that's neo-socialism and liberalism. And I think the Republicans are also liberals and neo-socials. And they're called cucks, and the Democrats are called cucks, and the neo-social Republicans are called conservatives.
Did you say?
You know, and it's all.
Did you say cucks and conservatives?
Yeah.
Okay.
You don't know these words?
No, I know these words. It's just I was making sure I didn't mishear you.
For instance, a Republican voting for abortion. That's a conservative.
Okay.
And he serves neo-socialism. He serves feminism. And it's a pseudological lie because abortion is murder. Life starts with conception. Life doesn't start with birth. And so the human rights are flawed because human rights start with birth.
Yeah, I get what you're saying there, that like passing through the vagina doesn't grant life to something, that it would have to begin before that.
Yeah, they're bacteria. They're one-celled. They're alive also.
Yeah. But
a sperm is not life, and an egg cell from a woman is not life. But when they mute together, then life begins.
Well, I mean, I think you could make the argument that both of the cells are life. It's just at that point they're not a higher form of life, because, I mean, think of all the life you kill every day just walking down the street, stepping on ants and shit. They're technically life too, but it's not as valuable as a human being. You know what I'm saying?
It's not complete life. They can't survive all alone.
And maybe this is the wrong word to use, but I think what you mean, I think instead of complete life, I would say sentient life. Something that's aware of its own existence.
What do you say? Something that is?
What's that?
Did you say something that's not aware of its own existence?
No, something that is aware of its own existence.
No. Bacteria and fungi, they are not aware about their existence. And
Yeah.
Trees neither, and flowers.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That, like, you know, a sperm or an egg, as far as we can tell, isn't aware of its own existence.
Yeah, but a tree and bacteria and fungi, that's life.
Yeah, it is, but
They can
not
reproduce. They can reproduce.
Yeah, But what I'm saying is that the tree, bacteria, individual cells are not sentient life. You know, sentient life is aware of its own existence.
Okay, yeah, but not all mammals are sentient.
Yeah, I'm using the term kind of improperly there because the only thing I think we would clarify as sentient life on Earth would be human beings.
Yeah, I understand. You're trying to say human beings differ from animals
Oh, undoubtedly.
because of consciousness, because of the soul. Even if we don't know what the soul is. Hey, you smoke too.
Yes, yeah. I smoke a lot more than I should, but
Yeah, you should stop. You should quit. It saves you a hell of a lot of money.
yeah, I know. Oh.
And at the end, you're getting COPD and asthma, and I know. I smoked from when I was 8 years.
Oh, it's kind of my last crutch. I used to have a bunch of drug problems and shit, and I quit doing all of that, and I just still smoke cigarettes. So,
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm proud of my victories. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But all right, let's
count your blessings.
Yes. Let's get back to our questions here, though. So, what did you do for a living? What was your employment?
First, let's start what I studied. I studied biochemistry.
Okay.
And I didn't finish it. I still had half a year to go. But it was, well, I wasn't a scientist, and those were also there was economic crisis in the early 80s.
Okay.
And there were women who, who didn't like me, and they made it impossible for me. And I was not strong enough, so I was just, not naive, but I was kind of ignorant. Some people say I'm a bit autistic or whatever. So I didn't finish it. Next, I had to do military service.
How long did you do that?
For almost 2 years. It was, we were obliged. The two first sons of a family were obliged to serve in military.
Okay. How many brothers and sisters do you have?
10.
10.
No, 11. One passed away very young.
Wow. That's a big family, man.
Yeah, in your perspective. It's relative. Postmodernists say it's relative.
Yeah. I mean, I got one brother and one sister, and that's kind of a large family for Americans. I mean, occasionally you'll meet people that have 6 or 7 brothers and sisters, but 10, that had to be hard.
I wanted 5 children, but the family and wife, she stopped with 2. She was told to, in her mindset, 2 was enough, and she could make a career then.
Yeah.
So, but I was just, I didn't have enough manly energy or manly knowledge to push it my way, you know. Well, okay, but next, in military service, I learned to drive trucks, so I became a truck driver for 4 years, and then my back didn't last. I had very much pains in my back, And at the same time, ICT was coming up, and the government had a program to how do you call that? To re-educate higher educated people with no jobs to ICT. So I stepped into that program. It was the first program, and next I was a programmer, analyst, and I was studying for a business and ICT. So I did that for 14 years. And I was studying for business ICT. I had to go half a year, but I didn't finish it because of divorce. It's the same story with my study at university. So that's it. And next, I got a chance by a friend of mine. I became a director of a small firm. It was very interesting, and yeah, I liked it very much, but there was not enough. There were not enough orders. So after 4 years, it stopped, and at the same time, my heart problems were getting too much. So it was okay. It stopped. Yeah. So that's my career.
I see. All right.
And meanwhile, after divorce, I was leading this group on internet with 500. You had MSN groups. In that time, they don't exist anymore, and all those information is also gone. But there were 500 members, and yeah, like I said, we often demonstrated. We climbed the roof. We had sorrow. We didn't have Batman like Fathers for Justice. We were called Divorced Fathers Netherlands, and the action group was Family for Justice. Yeah, so I did that too until egos made it impossible, and so everything crashed. And I'm still active. I'm trying to find the old nestors of father movement. In Holland there are elections now, and I want to demonstrate on election day. Well, we'll see.
So, who's running? I'm not familiar with the politics of that region.
Who's running?
Yes.
Well, there are five parties close together. So there is no runner, and you can't say who's the runner-up, and they're close together, and that only polls. You only know it in 2 weeks when after the vote. Then you know it. You know, polls don't say anything. You look at Trump and Clinton. Polls were wrong all the way.
Oh, well, there was obvious media bias in that. You know who the mainstream media wanted to win.
Yeah, the media are liberal. I'd rather call it neo-social, because I think neoliberal liberals are grabbing from the top. Yeah.
All right. Well, I think
so.
I think this perfectly segues into our next question.
Okay, let me finish the sentence. And neo-socials are grabbing at the bottom. So they, like Trump also said, or suggested that single mothers should be helped. Well, I say that you're subsidizing, you're facilitating and stimulating defathering. Yeah? When you do that. So that's neo-socialism, and indeed it's cultural Marxism.
Well, that's an interesting perspective I haven't heard before.
Yeah, it's just me connecting the dots.
Drawing your own conclusions.
Yeah, yeah. I'm always doing that.
All right. So, for you, would you say, do you prefer Hillary or Trump?
I prefer Trump, but I don't know. Like we still don't know what is going to bring us. Now the question is, how is Trump going to pay all these things? $1 trillion for infrastructure. Is he going to pay it? But at the other side, Obama made more national debt than all the other presidents together. So, but Hillary Clinton, I'm always triggered by types like that,
Yeah, I'm thankful she didn't win.
They're so liberal, they're so homophile, they're so feminized, and that's a wrong mindset. I say it again, as if humane. They hijack humanity, but it destroys the world. Look at what happened when we tried to force democracy into Iraq and Syria, Libya, Tunisia, Egypt, and whatever. Look what happened. And democracy, mind you, was a Trojan horse for those pseudological lies I earlier mentioned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the key part of that is the people living there have to want it. And
no, yeah, but like in Ukraine, there's George Soros with his Open Society. He's for more than 25 years, more than a quarter of a century, he's investing there to change people's minds.
By open society, do you mean globalism?
Yeah, the one new age global disorder, yes. But globalism is more like a trade, but I reckon you want to say new world order, and I call it the one new age global disorder. Because it's not healthy.
I would say it would be the antithesis of nationalism, which I guess you could say would be very similar to a new world order.
Yeah, and the end of nationalism, it means a new identity is needed. So all these mindsets, that's identity politics. They are framed in that we are all equal, that's equality. But equality is a lie. We are not equal. But they confuse it with equal value.
Okay.
So this is how they fucked up unequal treatment and discrimination. And that's why everything nowadays for these neo-socials is racism and sexism and homophobic and misogyny whenever you say they are wrong.
All right. So
that's a good sentence because it's very important that people understand that discrimination and unequal treatment were different 10 years, 20 years ago.
Oh, very different. It's
and equality is just distracting, and it's as if it's normal, as if it's good, as if it's reasonable. It's all fake because in essence it's a pseudological lie. So normally intelligentsia should unmask that, and it should be void to begin with.
Yeah.
But they hijacked and raped the system. Now so many people believe in that, and they are unable to see the other side.
Yeah. And it's like you said earlier about equality and discrimination, those terms are so misused anymore that they almost don't even mean anything, at least in the modern society. What people say, how people classify or define equality and discrimination anymore is just outrageous.
Yeah. There's a big effect you're talking about now. Hey, what did you study?
What did I study?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
I mean, what did you do after high school? Or did you go to work?
I went to work. I've been doing heating and air conditioning for pretty much ever since I got out of high school. I went to college for a little bit, and I actually dropped out of college because I was so sick of the progressive bullshit that they were pushing on us.
As if progressive. It's backwarding.
Yeah, it's regressive. It's not progressive, but it's kind of, it's not progressive at all.
They love to believe they're progressive.
But, like...
As if that's the future.
Yeah, as if, they're the purveyors of morality, and...
Yeah, but they devalued morals. They devalued everything. And so, it's like you said, it's meaningless.
Mm-hmm. And I was kind of the ghost in the system there, man, because I just didn't agree with my teachers, and I didn't agree with my classmates, and I didn't agree with the type of person that the college was trying to produce. So I quit going to school, and
and you weren't strong enough to go on.
Well,
and you didn't like it, of course.
Well, I had other issues too, like a lot of kids that were going there. Or either living at home or have some kind of support, and I was living on my own and working on top of going to school, and so I had a lot of shit on my plate at that time, and I just eventually said fuck it. But for not having a college education, I've been decently successful, I would say, and so it hasn't held me back.
You're intelligent enough, so I thank you for telling me this.
Oh, well, I appreciate the compliment.
That's why I asked it, Yes. I was wondering, what did you study? Because you know what you're saying. These are issues.
Well, it's...
Yeah, you have to have kind of intelligence to talk about this.
Yeah.
And to dare to interview.
I credit my father for that, actually, because he's a very smart, objective type of person, and I remember, I think I was 3 or 4 years old, and I pulled out his chessboard, and I was playing around with the chess pieces, didn't know anything about it, and he saw that, and he sat me down right then and there and taught me how to play chess. And so my father was always stimulating my mind at a young age, and I developed a affinity to think about things, complex things, and so I've pretty much spent my whole life.
Yeah, and in a logical way, not a pseudological way.
Yes.
In the old way. And you weren't infected by a common core.
No.
Yeah, in basic school and in high school, you weren't infected by it.
No, I just kind of always thought that I thought about things a lot more than the kids my age did. And, I'm not the smartest person on the planet, that's obvious. But, I think I'm smarter than the common rabble.
I was also good in maths, but I started thinking about all these cow shit after divorce. Before that, I was so ignorant. I never, as a child, I wasn't worrying, wasn't thinking, I was just having fun. And I was a child until I married and got responsibilities for others. So that was when I was 35.
Yeah.
So I still feel like a child. And that's me.
That's not necessarily a bad thing.
Meanwhile, I developed, and I know what I'm saying, and it's controversial. And yeah, it isolates you, it estranges you. My children, and like you were estranged in your study, my children are estranged from me too.
Well,
yeah, because the things I say, they don't want to hear it. Because high school and basic school, they twisted their minds.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that too, because I'm kind of the black sheep of my family in my beliefs. You know, there's that influence has somewhat penetrated my family, and so I get into a lot of arguments about things, but at the end of the day, we're all still there for each other. So, but
is your family mainly living in cities?
Suburbs,
on the West Coast or in East, Northeast America?
I live pretty close to Chicago, so we're like in the middle.
Yeah.
So I don't actually live in Chicago. That would be outrageous, but I live in a suburb of it.
Because I think most biggest cities in America are progressive.
Oh yes, without a doubt.
Progressive. Yeah. So that's why I think when families are affected, because families you're Central America. You said. Because families not living in progressive cities are mostly not infected by neo-socialism.
Yeah, when you go to some more backwater places or some smaller towns, people tend to have more conservative or traditional values, and people are more friendly.
Yeah, they are really. They know family life is so important.
Yes.
It's not as if family is very hard. You said, so your friends are your family. No, it's not. And it's not about it takes a village to raise a child. No, it's about family life.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just the attitude of it is just so different. Like if you walk down this...
Yeah, but it's logic when your mindset is normal and not brainwashed. You have another attitude. You have different feelings and thoughts, and love is still true. Is still truly. It's not fake.
Yeah. Yeah. It's more. It's genuine.
Yeah.
But
So back to the interview.
Okay.
We were talking about discrimination and consuming. I want to say something else about that. There are two words which bother me, which meanings have been perverted so much, and those two words are create and diversity.
Okay.
And diversity is used instead of variation. Because it refers to equality and it refers to discrimination. So it's for diversity refers to we are all human beings.
Yeah, generally they'll use it as skin color.
But healthy human beings and unhealthy human beings, that difference is made. So homosexuals are human beings too. Yeah, they are human beings, but the value has been devalued because of equality. And the other word is create. I say human beings can't create. They only can produce, they can make, they can invent, they can fantasize, they can whatever. But they can't create, because creating is making something out of nothing.
Yeah.
But we can't do that in this universe. We can't.
Well, at least not yet. We may be
Never.
one day.
Never. We always need something to make another thing.
Well, yeah, I suppose you're right. I was thinking of some
In this
fucking
universe, I don't know.
sci-fi
I don't
shit.
know what's outside this universe, but in this universe, we can only make things. So makeability is now culture, and it's undermining nature.
What about in the context of an idea? Do you think people could create ideas?
No, because ideas you need to eat. Your brains have to work. You need so much things to make an idea.
Okay, all right. I can see where you're coming from on that.
Yeah, that's why I mentioned fantasies. You know, they are not material, but still, they are made from something. They are not made from nothing.
All right. Well, it's been about an hour, and I think we're going to wind this down with the big question. And then,
Well, we are already talking for an hour. Yeah.
Almost.
Yeah. Whoa.
So,
okay.
I've got one or two more questions for you, or one more question for you.
The big one.
The big one. So, what is your end game on all of this? And how do you think you're going to accomplish it? You know, I mean, basically, how do you imagine the future, life after you're gone, and what is your purpose in bringing attention to all of these issues that we discussed?
Well, I have Frank Sinatra my way, and I'm not very goal directed. I'm just saying what I'm saying. I'm not a preacher, not a teacher. I'm doing my best. After the ex and wife died, I started to retire from fighting. I needed my rest. So, how do I see the future after postmodernism? Yeah, postmodernism to begin with, but we all already know it's here with hedonism. It's consumerism, having fun, and feel-good terrorism. That's already here. But I think truth alone prevails. So, one day the justice system has to be purified. Because without truth there's no freedom, and there's no justice, and there's no peace. Despite fake love, despite tolerance and whatever. So I think one day the bomb will burst. And what's next? Yeah. What's next? I'm thinking about Homo robotica and Robo sapiens, or the human Deus. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. Will machines take over? I don't know.
Well, that's a whole nother discussion in its own right, but
yeah, but I think humanity is under stress. because Homo robotica is kind of dehumanization. Yeah, and empowering healthy people is dehumanization. You have to have a diagnosis to be helped, to be health, to be how do you say it? Well, I don't know, but when healthy people are made better, that's dehumanization.
Okay.
So I think that's the future. Humanity is under stress, and humanity, yeah. I think in future maybe you have to go to basic school and high school to earn your citizen certificate, and otherwise you don't have civil rights. You can't work, you can't have a loan, or you can't have a house or whatever. Maybe that's the future.
Well,
it's not nihilistic, but I'm not optimistic.
Oh.
So I hope truth prevails.
Oh, I hope so too.
Yeah, it's really a big question. I didn't think about it much.
All right.
Now exposing my ideas, these are spontaneously, kind of. Whoa, it sounds really dark, the future.
So you're just trying to spread awareness, essentially.
I'm just trying to say what I have to say, and that's it.
All right. Well,
and other people may listen, may learn about it, may believe in it or not, or like it or not. I don't mind.
Well, it was fun having you on, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Of course. And,
hey, can I find it back, this interview?
I will post it to you in the Discord. Probably either tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah, thank you, man.
So yes, and you can take it and put it on your own channel.
Yeah.
So.
Okay, and you go on your own way.
Yes.
You find your way.
Oh, of course. I got my message to spread too. So.
Yeah.
All right.
You better say not of course, but naturally.
Naturally. Alright, my guest was Ad Verdiesen. You can find his YouTube channel on the same name. And I am Cyanox0, Cyanox0, like mispronounced my own name. So, yeah, go ahead and like and subscribe if you're so inclined, and thank you.